Welcome to my video for NRL tips for round 20. Let's have a quick look at how our results have gone. So if we look at round 19, we had 3 bets for that round. One of them lost, which was the underdog there with the Dolphins at $2.27. We did get the Roosters and the Broncos though. So we didn't lose too much on the round, only $180 for the outlay of the 3,000. That takes our record this season to 26 tips put up on YouTube. 21 of those have been winners, and we are close to a profit of $7,000, just under there by a touch. So let's see how the round went, where we just put all our tips in. So you can see here pretty much favourites won every single game of the round, which is unusual given this year there's been a lot of upsets happening. We did get Storm, Roosters, Bulldogs, Warriors, Panthers, and Broncos. The only game we did miss there was the Sharks at home. We did tip the Dolphins to win that, and the model had predicted the Dolphins should win that easy, even though they were underdogs. It didn't go that way, but that happens. Sometimes we do get those underdogs more than we lose. So let's see what we have this round. Okay, so looking at tips for this round, in the Dolphins versus Cowboys game, you have the Dolphins. The predicted winning margin there is 16. The odds are $1.55, so it's a heavy favourite there. We've tipped the Dolphins to bounce back after that loss that they had last week, especially since they're playing the Cowboys at home. The Sharks versus the Roosters, we're taking the Roosters in an upset there by 6 points. Their odds are $2.25. The Panthers versus the Rabbits, we're taking the Panthers. The Panthers have come good end of the season. Rabbits have been constantly low on the model's ratings, so we've got a predicted winning margin there of 18. The Rabbits are quite good in defence, but still, Panthers should easily win this. The odds are $1.38. Raiders versus Eels, we've got the Raiders at home, but surprisingly only by 2 points. The Eels are down the bottom of the ladder, Raiders are right at the top. But given the recent form of both sides, 2 points is the predicted winning margin here. So a lot closer game than what the odds of $1.22 suggest. Bulldogs versus Dragons, we've got the upset here with the Dragons. Got them winning by 4, and their odds are out at $4.35. So the model likely has this game wrong. The Bulldogs have not been playing well at all. So it's not that the Dragons are playing well, it's more that the Bulldogs have been playing pretty ugly. Yes, they've got some wins playing ugly, but the stats that they're putting in really suggest they should be losing some of these games. So the model has taken the Dragons here. Be very interesting to see if that game gets up. Next game is Storm versus Manly, which is a pretty big rivalry in the NRL. We got the Storm by 2. The odds are $1.33. Storm should win this at home, but Manly has been a bit up and down this year. They could put in a good game. I think the Storm win that game though, and by more than 2. West Tigers versus Titans. This was another interesting one. The model has picked Titans by 4, which is another upset at $2.58. The Tigers have put in some really good games the last few rounds, and they've been competitive. So I'm surprised that the Titans, who have been putting in pretty shocking stats all year, were the tip here. I didn't think I'd tip the Titans at all, but it has tipped the Titans based on the recent form, based on the stats that it uses going into the model. So that will be a very interesting game to watch and see if the upset comes off. And the last game is Knights versus Warriors. The Knights got some problems in the club. Lots of reports coming out about players wanting to leave and some deals going on. I think the Warriors do win this. It's got the Warriors by 2. I think the Warriors are playing well enough to win this game, and at $1.45, they're probably a bit of value here. the model doesn't know what's going on behind the scenes. It can't take into account those news articles and things like that. So this is probably one where the predicted margin of 2 is probably under what it should be, and the Warriors probably win this by at least 6 to 8 points. Okay, so looking at what we would bet this round, there is only 2 games we're going to bet this round. So it's going to be the Dolphins at $1.55 against the Cowboys, and it is going to be the Panthers as well at $1.38. So if we get both of those, we're getting back what, $930. Shouldn't be too bad if we can knock both those games out. Both are favourites. More than likely we win those, given our record of 26 tips for 21 wins. Suggests we are doing quite well when we back the favourites. Hopefully we can get the win and see how we go. Now, I won't have any tips up for round 21. I am travelling and will be out of the country, enjoying a break. I will try to get tips back up for round 22. So good luck if you are having a bet on these, and good luck in the next round when I'm not going to be able to put tips up. But we'll see how we end up at least this round and see if we can increase our profit loss for this season a little bit more. I'm going to leave it there, and thanks everyone for watching. It's always fun putting these up and getting some comments back on what people think about each of the teams and the tips. So if you've got comments, leave them in there. I will reply. Very interested to hear where you think the tips are wrong. This round there's a lot of upsets, so that would be interesting. But are there any favourites that it's tipped that you think might get rolled over in this round? Let me know. Okay, thanks for that, and good luck if you're having a bet.